it's time to think about the case, and what I did first is I did cut just a piece of plywood about the right size, actually 2 pieces, and then I just thought about where I wanted to put the tubes and the components and whatnot, and then I did go over to my drill press and I drilled all the holes for the tubes. This is for the regulated power supply. The SG3S is going to sit here, the PL36 is going to sit here. It needs another hole, and I'm going to drill here for the anode cap. And the wire will come up here and go on top of the tube. Here I'll put the EF80, and this is for the preamplifier PCB that I showed before with the 3 tubes sticking out like this. What I also did is I put some aluminium foil on here, because usually when you're building a preamplifier you want to have it in a metal case, but metal is really hard to work with, and so I just put a piece of aluminium foil as shielding on the bottom, and I'll connect that to ground with that screw through the PCB. What I also did is I fired up my 3D printer and I printed these pieces for the case. This is actually the internal divider, because I want to have the preamplifier section separated from the power supply. Noise-wise, I wanted to put them up like this, but they're not standing up. So what I'll do next is I'll just screw those together, and then we'll build ourselves a case. What I will actually do first is I'll glue some aluminum foil to all the parts that touch the preamplifier section, and I think I'm going to do that just by applying some regular wood glue to this is PLA, by the way. I started printing in ABS, but I have found since then that PLA is a much more forgiving material. Okay, needs a bit more glue. That might have been too much glue. We'll see. One of the problems with just putting aluminium foil on the end is that you have to make sure that it makes contact to the rest of the sections, that it all connected to ground very well, which I'm not sure how to do yet, but I'll figure out. There's some glue to my table. I'm just going to take some aluminium foil and just stick it on there like this. Then I'll take just take a blade to cut along the edge. I will fine trim this once the glue is all dry, but for now this is fine. Now the only thing I have to do is to do this to all the other sections. It's these 3 and the internal divider, which I'm not going to show here on video. So what I'm going to do while the glue on the other parts is drying is I'm just going to mount these sockets, these tube sockets on the left. Those are the 2 octal sockets this one I'm just installing is for the SG3S voltage regulator tube. And the other one is for the PL36 series pass tube. So they're just hold on by these metal brackets that they supply with the tube sockets. These are actually from AliExpress. I did buy a lot of tube sockets from China before. Some of them are really good and some of them are really bad, but those ones are really good. Although you just don't buy the cheapest ones. The cheapest ones are always crap. These are some mid-range ones, and I found that the quality is really good. I never had a problem with those at all. So I'm just going to put the rest of the nuts on the bolts here, and then I'm going to switch the camera off while I'm tightening them up. And what I'm going to do next is I'm probably going to put some turret board right next to the sockets where I can mount all the passives. And also the capacitor for the series string heater for the EF80 and also the PL36. It's a couple hours later and the glue has dried, as you can see. These turned out quite nice. And they're really screwing with the camera, like the reflectivity of the aluminium. What I'm going to do next is just to screw those together with some M5 screws. I think they are. To make up a sort of frame, which I'm then going to screw to the back plate. And where those are not going in properly, I'll just Dremel the holes a bit wider. Maybe this is the wrong way around. Let me try that. So this is the assembled box to this point. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to drill holes in the bottom of it so I can mount this to the bottom of the box to it. I think I'll do this off camera and then just put a picture of the result in. This is after I've drilled the holes for the bottom plate. I put some screws in and now I have a box. The only thing left to do is put this piece in, which will divide the case into two compartments, one for the amplifier and one for the power supply. The amplifier goes here and the power supply really goes here.